Hey everyone, it's Megan Wise, and I'm here at the Portfolio Podcast. So excited today. We talk about property, profits, generational wealth, investment, and all things real estate, especially in Indianapolis. And so today I have a special guest. His name's Alex Kovacs. Hi, Alex.
I felt like we were supposed to do this a week ago, and since then you've already cranked out like 3 more of these
I
podcasts.
know,
I don't know
right?
how you have the time to do
I
this.
don't either. I just show up and you guys all just come and appear.
It works out perfectly.
It does, and I love talking real estate, especially with each of our brokers in our group. And you came to us pretty recently.
Yeah, in April.
April, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I love like you dived right into our culture and you've grown pretty quickly and done so many changes. So let's start a little bit. How did you fall into real estate, get into real estate? What's your background?
Yeah, so I actually started in real estate during COVID, and I had this sales job that I wasn't super ecstatic about.
Yeah.
So my family was in commercial real estate, and I was like, I want to get into real estate at some point.
Yeah.
So I decided to get my license through 2020. Ended up getting it at the end of 2020. At the same time, I met Zach Knoll,
Oh,
who
yes.
you obviously know.
Yeah.
And met him through a poker game, and really started going full throttle with him in the beginning of 21. So in 21, I was still kind of working part-time and doing real estate. I'm like, you know what, I need to quit my job. I need to do this full-time.
Good for
So, I finished 21 out, and at the end of the year, I kind of reflected on it. I'm like, man, I really only sold like 2 houses. Like, quitting my job was kind of a big risk.
Yeah.
Zach's like, keep putting in the work. It'll all come down. So thankfully, at the end of 2022, I ended up selling 11 houses, and I basically made the same income I did with my first job. So I was like,
Amazing.
at the end of 22, I'm like, all right, I know I can at least do this as a job, okay?
Yeah.
So then 2023 comes around, and I basically doubled that production. I ended up
Wow.
selling 17 homes, and then I made 6 figures in GCI, which was my goal, which I crushed. And I was like, all right, now I can make a career out of this.
I love that.
And then now we've come to 2024, and things have exploded. I've basically done the same amount of production I did all of last year.
Combined up in the first 7 months.
In the first 7 months. And then I think this year I've really focused on, putting back into my business and growing as a person. So I decided to pay for coaching through the Tom Ferry Network, and then joining KWP was a huge decision for me.
Yeah, you joined us in April.
Yeah.
Did you start Tom Ferry before or after?
Kind of at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
You just decided I'm going to invest in myself.
Yes.
And go full throttle.
Full
in this
throttle,
career.
full throttle. And I had a lot of investor clients, so like that side of things made sense from the
join us.
portfolio side of things, but like I wasn't really like ready for the culture here. The culture is incredible, and like it's just an awesome mix of people. Like you have like our newbies, which you reference pretty frequently, but like you also have the heavy hitters like Dana, who's killing it in guys, like Sarah's an absolute all-star, like Shauna. Like it's cool to have like a mixture of these people that are absolutely killing it, but at the same time these new people that like are killing it in and of themselves. I mean, like Megan Mack has a $1.5 million listing
coming up.
and then
6 months in.
It's 6 months in, and then not only that, but like our awesome Carson, he does. I feel like he does an open house every other weekend, if not every weekend.
He does.
And he picked up a $750K buy. I mean, like it proves that like you guys have the listings for us. Like if you put in the work at the end of the day, like you're gonna bank off of that, and that's awesome.
So true. And I think we forget about the simple, like back to the basics, is finding clients. You can do open houses, and we as seasoned realtors are opening up our listings to everybody in the company. We want you guys to work these open houses and pick up clients, and people are doing it and then learning to leverage how to do the open house right.
Right.
Like we go back, like let's door knock, let's invite the neighbors. How do we get the open houses on all 30 plus brokers to social media? It's just one little niche. And we were talking right before we got started of the like, and I love that you came from a brokerage that was mostly cloud-based, and now you're with us, and you see the culture, especially in that text thread. And what did it do for your recent listing?
Well, it freaked me out at first.
At
first it freaked me out. I got in the group chat like 30 minutes after I signed my letter of commitment, and within like a 2-hour period, I got like 40 text messages. I'm like, Zach, did I make a bad choice here? Like, what is this? But like, now I've grown to love it. Like now I'm texting into the group chat.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
I like, what's going on in this market? Are you guys seeing 3% buyer's agency commissions? But like, the wealth of knowledge there is incredible. And not only that, like the networking system is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I just posted a short video in the group chat of my new Lake Lemon listing to see if anybody had any potential buyers. within 2 minutes, Danae puts me in a group chat with a local Bloomington realtor saying like, hey, like we have a Lake Lemon property tour open house
cool.
for the 28th. If you guys are going to be listed by then, we would love for you to join. I'm like, that's so many more eyeballs that I can get to my listing that
Amazing.
I wouldn't have before if I didn't have this network. It's incredible.
Yeah, you're right. It is about the network. Like, and we all want to help each other.
Yeah.
We all stop and look at the text and go, if I can help, I'll help. And Danae connecting you to a Bloomington agent, and now your listings on way more of everyone's different spheres.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that like no one really has like an ego here. Like you could see like Kyle, who's 6 months in and has done $10 million in volume, and be jealous of that, or you could look at that and be like, all right, what is he doing right that I'm not doing?
Correct.
And I'm going to copy that because he's obviously has some success with that. So I love the fact that like people aren't ashamed to see what's being successful, copy that, and then they have, and like not only that, like those people are willing to show the strategies that are getting the success for them, and I think that's awesome.
And and I'm so thankful that you have like this. You came out as brand new, and you came from some other brokerages, and so you have the experience of independent. You have experience of a cloud-based. But us, I think our culture is above and beyond what we ever thought it was going to be. The network, the help, the attitude, abundance, and we always say that our amigo is not our. What do we say? Our ego is not our amigo.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's true. Like everyone's willing to help. Like Kyle's willing to stop. He's got 4 young kids.
Yeah.
He's crushing it, and he's willing to stop and have a coffee with you or anybody to talk about what he's doing on social media. And Peter's willing to stop and talk about investments. Like anyone's willing to stop to help if you just raise your hand.
And I also thought it was like super cool. Like you have these like we're attracting these heavy hitting brokers. Like, you know, Zach had his own brokerage. Peter Stewart had his own brokerage.
Correct.
They were making 100% commission.
Correct.
They came here to take a split. There's obviously some value in that, and there's something that's being built that's more than I think you could even ever imagine.
You're right. It's so well said. And I'm glad that you saw it so quickly. We had a couple meetings and I saw your hustle and your heart and that you want to just do right for your client, but you also want to improve. Like every year you want to do better and you have been.
Yeah.
And so many are like, oh, the 2020 market's bad. Every single person has increased their volume and their production and portfolio, including yourself.
It's crazy.
You're going to probably double what you did last year.
100%, and that's the goal.
That's amazing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's about who you surround yourself with.
100%. It's infectious.
That's a great word.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that there's just so many opportunities here. There's so much networking that's available. It's just like, not only that, like Keller Williams in and of itself, like they have these opportunities to learn more about like the NAR settlement, like take a deeper dive into like contracts, and like that's something that like I wouldn't say was readily available at my last brokerage, but they have a ton of opportunities to learn more and become a better agent in general.
If you want to.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't have to, but it's nice to plug and play, especially if you have a slower day or something.
Absolutely.
And I've seen this growth in like just a couple months. It's been so fun getting to know you more and like following you on your socials, and all of a sudden I'm seeing your face, and I'm seeing tours, and I'm seeing videos. Tell me about like you doing that.
Yeah, well,
were you doing that last year?
I like to some degree, but like, you know, everyone's so scared to put their face on the internet. But in reality, like at the end of the day, the clients that you work with, I get this from the Tom Ferry Network, know, like, and trust you.
Yep.
So you have to put yourself out there. You have to be the local broker. You have to know what's going on, and obviously, I think Instagram and Facebook is a great way to put yourself out there, show what inventory is available, and then give you kind of your spin on how you think that you can help your clients out. I think that's an awesome way to do it.
And you've been doing it more consistently since you joined us.
Yes.
And what has it yielded for you?
Yeah, so over the last week, it's been incredible. So I basically got Kyle's blueprint, you know, posting tours on a daily basis. And, you know, it's just like the beginning of my career. Like, you put all this work in and, like, nothing's really coming out of it. But, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, once you put the work in, it's really going to yield results.
Yeah.
So, like, just last week alone, I got a listing appointment for tomorrow from a referral. I'm showing 3 rental properties this evening for another client. I have, from my Lake Lemon posting alone, I have 3 potential buyers. One of them that wants to invest in Lake Lemon. It's just like... It's just like in the beginning, it's kind of annoying, or not annoying. It's probably not that word. Yeah, it's just like I'm putting all this content out. Like, is it really reaching people?
Yes.
Like, are people really resonating with what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, yes, it just takes time. You just need to stay top of mind.
That's right. And I think you can't. It's like I think maybe you said it. We can't get abs in a week.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta actually
Right.
put this consistent videos in, and then all of a sudden your algorithm and your feeds, you're like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And
Exactly.
He does it a lot.
Yeah.
And he's well spoken and he knows his area.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
that's so. And you had a big accomplishment this year too. Can we talk about?
Yes, we could talk about it.
Your very first home.
Well, I purchased a home while I was joining this brokerage. My timing was a little bit crazy because I had so many million things going on at once. But
you did.
You know, it was an awesome opportunity to go through the process, like you know, like purchasing your own home, and it's just like also like people aren't going to buy with someone that doesn't own their own home to begin with. But the whole like investment side of things at KWP kind of put a perspective on like the house that I did purchase.
Good.
So
tell us about it.
yeah, so it was brand new construction. I got for under $200,000 in Broad Ripple. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. But like the idea is to live in it for a couple years, you know, build my equity up, and then I'm going to put a renter in there and 1099 and move somewhere in the suburbs. So I thought that was an awesome opportunity, and I think this brokerage really put into perspective like the whole like investing in yourself and investing in real estate. So I think, you know, owning your own home outright is the first step, and then after that, like I would love to start, you know, more rentals in my portfolio at some point.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you bought your first house with the idea of it becoming an investment. And you know how many years, after 15 years, I've had so many clients, I wish I'd kept my Broad Ripple bungalow.
Right.
Because when I was your age, it was like 130,000, 150,000.
Right.
Those cute bungalows down there.
Right.
I wish I'd bought those up and made those rentals. So many people are like, I wish I'd kept that before I moved away and made it a rental.
Right.
But now we're teaching it. Keep your house if you can.
Right.
We don't want to sell it. We want you to keep it if you can, leverage, move on, whatever. But that way you can build generational wealth through real estate, because that's one of the top 3 ways. You have to own a business, okay? You have to be a trust fund baby, or you have to invest in real estate.
Right.
That's the best way to become financially free.
And what's the saying, like, what's the best time to buy real estate? Well, 10 years ago. What's the next best time? Right now.
It's so true.
And it's like, and like people like don't understand, like everything is appreciating, like, you know, we're not saying like the crazy like 20% appreciation over the last 3 years.
3 to 4% since I've started.
And not only that, but like the majority of the investors that I work with are out of state. I mean, why is that? Because Indianapolis is a fantastic market. It's growing so quickly, and there's like so many pockets that you can invest in that, you know, 5-10 years down the road, like you're going to get a nice return on your investment.
That's right. And that's why I stumbled into real estate investing as an investor. When I was a residential realtor a couple years in, I listed a home in downtown Fishers right before they did the redevelopment of the downtown area. And I had 4 investor clients call me the day I listed a $100,000 townhome.
Unbelievable.
And then I thought, wait, I'm going to buy this myself. And I became an investor.
Well, what's another cool thing about this brokerage is like the like philosophy of like helping our clients. And I think the main thing that I've picked up is, first and foremost, when you go to a listing appointment, is this something that I could invest in myself? Like, can I take advantage of that? And like, you actually had something that pretty recently what was it, on the lake? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
It was on Morse Reservoir, and I had a long-term, very loyal, lovely client, and their elderly parents had to downsize. They had some health concerns that popped up. They had to get out of the house. They had owned the house for 22 years. It was hard for them to keep up. It was landscape overgrown. The roof was shot after 22 years. It was a lot of work. They had a lot of stuff. You know, living in a home for 22 years is a long time. And we found out they had to be contingent to purchase the next one. And in my mind, I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to prep this house, get it ready, stage market it, to get it pending for them to move on. And we were fighting some health issues of her needing to be closer to the hospital. So I went into it and was like, can I buy this? And I ran the numbers. They interviewed multiple realtors, by the way. There was multiple family members. Everybody sent a realtor, and they chose me. And it was really cool because they said, you brought creativity, and you said, if we do it the regular way, it's like this, or I can buy it from you at this price as is, and you don't have to worry about all the stuff. And then it freed up their money, and the emotional, like, relief of the entire family to be like, oh my gosh, yes. And next week we can start getting mom and dad into a different, better home for them, like a safer home for them. And it was a little bit of a risk, like anything in real estate.
Absolutely.
But I can sell it. I'll clean it up. I have a roofer contacts that will probably do a discount. Like I'll pull my favors in. And lo and behold, we did. And I knew that living on lake myself, I knew that lake living is awesome. People always want to try it. They had the lot backed up to Morse Reservoir in a cove. And I thought, you know, this is a great property. And I don't want these people to like miss out on moving to the next house. So we took it on and I kept it. And paid carrying costs and kept it for a while and did some renos, some paint, some roof and stuff. They moved on and they were so happy. And then I was able to list it and sell it.
The emotional stress that you took off of their
Yes.
shoulders, I think
Cool.
it speaks volumes. And like, if you can say like, hey, I'll buy this all cash, no inspections.
That's what we did.
And then that literally is so much pressure that's relieved off of them.
was.
And at the same time, we're making bank off of it.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make $10,000 or $25,000. I wasn't sure, but I didn't take a commission, right? And so like I was true and whatever I could to make it work for them, and we both ended up winning. And I sold it for more than I thought, and so it was just like that's not good karma coming back to me.
Right.
But I was like, their parents reminded me of my parents.
Yeah.
They're just the sweetest couple.
Didn't you buy it behind Josh's back
I
too?
did behind Josh's back. Josh wasn't too happy.
Until he saw the check on the back end, and he's like, all right, she knows what she's doing.
And I always feel like there's this gut instinct in real estate, isn't there?
Yes.
And when you walk with your clients in these houses and you just know it's the right one, but you can't put your finger on it.
Yes.
You got to trust that gut.
100%. And that's like when I was going through the Lake Lemon property, like I ran comps a million different times, and it's just like I really think the value is at like between 275 and 285, and like. At the end of the day, we actually got an appraisal and appraised for 282. I'm like, I knew it was around there. Like, it's just like,
it feels good.
I feel like and that's what I think has helped like the growth of like going through so many transactions and learning from each one and learning the markets. I think, over time, that experience really shows like, okay, like I know what I'm talking about.
And the confidence comes from doing transactions.
Yes.
And your confidence has grown every year as you've done real estate.
Absolutely. I think, well, not only that, like I not only am I close to all the production I made last year, but I also had 8 listings fall out of contract this year.
Oh my God.
Thankfully, we were able to get 4 of them back under contract and sold. But like, you learn from those mistakes, and like, and it could be from a bunch of different reasons.
There's a lender issue, a title issue.
Lender issues. There's something that they didn't understand, like about the value of the property. It's just like there's so many different things that can pop up. That at the end of the day, like you learn from those mistakes though, and sometimes it's something that's out of your control. Like you work with lenders that are working with Rocket Mortgage, and sometimes the deal falls through. That happened to me recently. My most recent closing, like.
How do you pick up the pieces from that?
How do you pick up the pieces? And that's the thing that I think is great about like working with a great team. Like, okay, my lenders was able to come in and they ended up closing like last week. So it worked out perfectly.
So just a short delay.
Yeah.
And you switch lenders and to like troubleshoot quickly when you have experience.
Yes.
That's why I beg buyers to interview their realtors. Their buyers' realtors need to have a strong team behind them, and they need to have some experience.
Yeah, and speaking on that, another thing that like the team aspect of KWP has been super incredible.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Is the whole marketing side of things that I didn't even know was a thing. Like, for example, like I had a listing appointment. I was supposed to have it on a Wednesday, and they called me like, hey, Alex, like we can only do it today. Like, are you available? I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
And I have that feeling you rush again.
I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to put this whole like listing presentation together. I emailed Kristen. I was like, hey, like here's some comps for the property. Is there any way you can throw a listing presentation together for me? In a matter of 30 minutes, she put a full-fledged listing presentation together, tailored with all of my marketing, all of my my branding and everything. So it's just like having a whole marketing team behind you, like, and that's like basically free of charge. Like, it's like
the customization of a full-blown marketing team that's going to tailor it to you, not just the big box brokerages. Vibe.
And I was even texting you about like business cards, and I'm like, hey,
that's right.
I was texting you about business cards. I was like, hey, like can I use the new KWP like logos and stuff like that? And you're like, do you like the red in your card? I'm like, no, I actually hate it. I just have no idea what I'm doing. She's like, oh, just send it to McKenna. She'll get you something out in a matter of minutes. Okay. Lo and behold, 5 minutes later, I'm in a 3-way email chain with her, Kristen, and Jane, and they have 4 different options for me. It's just like when you can delegate. It's not like it's like not important, but those like smaller, detail options. Like when you can delegate that, that's when you can grow as a realtor and focus on the more important things, which is selling more homes.
Clients, negotiations, finding. And I'm so glad you bring that up because I know we don't do a great job of advertising it.
Oh my God!
But it's such a great resource for whether you love doing it or you don't love doing it, to have someone at your fingertips 9 to 6, which we have an in-house marketing person who will customize anything, graphics, listing appointments, marketing. You did a buyer package with her too.
I'm doing it as we speak. I was like, hey, like you did great on this listing
Yeah.
presentation. Like I really need to get my buyer's consultation down pat, especially with this new NAR settlement and showing my value. And it's just like I have this 24-page buyer's consult that I did in the past, but like it's archaic at this point. So I was like, Kristen, is there any way you can help me out? She's like, actually, like I've already done one for Danae. Like if you just give me all of your details and we can tailor it around you and your brand. And I'm like, that is incredible. It's just so nice to have that.
We're not trained to do social media, creativity, marketing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some people have it, some people don't. But most of us need to be client facing and not behind a computer.
100%. And not only that, like that takes time. Like what would have took me a half a day to a day to create a presentation, I could have it in my fingertips in 30 minutes.
So well
all
done.
tailored around me, and it's been incredible.
I love that you used resources. And I feel like brokerages offer some resources. People don't use them. Maybe they don't find value in, but here I feel like our marketing team is just so amazing. There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're all willing to help with a smile.
100%. And even like, bringing McKenna on, and she's been an awesome, I think, to our brokerage, because like, especially with my trajectory and my social media, obviously Kyle has laid the blueprint, and I've tried to copy as much as possible, but like McKenna has that awesome background, and she can teach us. And also she's in the younger generation that is on Instagram on a daily basis and on TikTok on a daily basis, and like different ways to like make your content actually stand out. I think those things have.
It's indispensable. I mean, you have to have it.
It's really propelled my Instagram, and I honestly like it's finally starting to see like actual clientele come from it, and it's been awesome.
I love that. That's so cool, and it's so organic too. And you just joined us in April, and I love that you using the tools. And you're not afraid to ask. Like we talked about, like your listing appointment change. Just say, "Hey, urgent, can you do this in an hour?" And she does.
It's incredible.
I've done like, "Hey, stop the I have her working on projects all the time, and I'm like, "Stop! I need this graphic for an open house tomorrow." And it's so nice.
And she's got it.
It's so good.
And not only that, but like even like Jane emails us like once a day, like here's the broker deal of the day, or. Another thing that my clients love are like the open houses for the weekend. Like I think that is so cool. Where like we have our handpicked open houses. Most of them are listings.
Most of them are listings.
But I mean, we might as well at this point. So, but it's just cool. The resources that I've seen here, it's just nothing like I've seen before. And like again, like I joined KWP for like the investment side of things, but like the whole culture and resources and marketing, like I was blown away. I wasn't expecting it, and it's really, I think, helped me grow as a realtor.
Oh, Alex, I can't. We gotta end there because it's so perfect. Like I wish I could pay you to say that. But I don't have to, because you know it from your heart, and like you're so authentic and you're genuine. And I think that's also part of your success, is you want to help people.
Yes.
And having a brokerage that supports the behind the scenes stuff pushes you to do better and to hit more people to help.
Yeah, and one last like closing moment on that, like obviously we all, like I'm consistently looking for direction like within that group chat, but like that also makes me want to help out other realtors. Like like I was texting with Megan Mack, and she was like curious like what to do on this particular contract, and like I'm gonna go out of my way and make sure like she gets the guidance she needs to make sure this contract is correct. So like I think like the energy of like everyone's biggest cheerleader. And I think the success that comes from everyone else it just makes everyone want to work harder. And I think at the end of the day, like that's something I wasn't really expecting from this brokerage, but like I'm super excited to be part of it.
I love that. And thank you for joining us and sharing so well. Like I just feel like you're genuine and you're authentic, and people are going to work with you because of your experience and the fact that you're always wanting to do better. You have that growth mindset, and so do I. And after 15 years, there's so much different ways to do it, and we're figuring out with the young ones. I mean, we have a 19-year-old in our we have a 20-year-old in our Monday meetings, and just being willing to share. And I think that it's, like you said, it's way bigger than I thought it could ever be. And you're a big part of it. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm
so proud of you.
Awesome to be part of this brokerage, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, we're going far. Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit, baby.
Let's go. Well, thank you guys, and make sure to tune in next week. We're just so proud of Portfolio. Everyone who has joined us has exceeded their production or their GCI, and we're so thankful for this attitude of abundance world, and we welcome you to come and join us anytime. Thank you, guys.